Test, 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 test. Let me get this over here. Okay. Yeah, Fox, we are running a little bit late tonight. Today. I've had another sleepless night. I'm doing the best I can to keep these going. Also, folks, we need your help. Something awful. We are hemorrhaging funds to be able to keep on doing this. I'm going to post a link to our coffee club. If you can, go over and become a member or just get us a coffee. Um, I am not for sure on that, but I can tell you, give me just a minute. We are going to go in depth on Lindsey Graham and show you why Russia has done what they've done. Do 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 do. Yes, it does look like that he is going to be signing a executive order at 4:30 today. I'm seeing multiple reports from it. So I'd say you will be able to watch that on the White House YouTube page. Uh, no problem, Emily. I don't think I've seen you before over here. Remember, folks, if you are in Discord, you need to go to that link that I have posted and pinned in chat and fix your membership over on Coffee Club. That way you can have continued access to Coffee Club, and the only thing that is keeping us running right now is the Coffee Club, and we have 47 members. Oh, okay. Got you, Rez. We are also live on YouTube right now. But yeah, we need your all's help. I don't really know what I'm going to do. I can't sleep at night because I hurt so bad. So I don't know how I'm going to keep on doing all of this with no funding. Anyway, we're going to do a very deep dive today into why Russia has done what they've done to Lindsey Graham and show you evidence that it's just not natural causes. Because the FBI, Violent Crimes Task Force, would not be called in if it was just natural causes. We had somebody underneath the 24/7 news stream say that we was let me go back and I'll read this off to you. Well, we went in and he said, "What an irresponsible header! They have nothing to gain by killing him." Yes, Russia does tremendously. I guess you still believe in Russian election interference too. Perhaps you still believe they blew up their own pipeline. This right here is Trump derangement syndrome. He says there's something called evidence. Well, Sorky's 45. If you will go back and read all the evidence that I just posted underneath of your post there, that's about 6,000 to 8,000 characters. Of course, nothing that we do is going to change your mind because your mind is already set, and that's what's a lot of a problem is with TDS syndrome and the diehard supporters. Is that even if you lay out the evidence, you can't change your mind. Now, we did have a B1B up over here next to the UK, but it looks like it has fell off radar before I could click on it. So, well, we're going to go through here and check all these maps. Let me get this one up over here so you can follow me through here. There's a lot of stuff on the move. A lot of stuff on the move. But that B1B was up in here. Wow, only one person over here on YouTube. That's very interesting. I think we are going to start doing 24/7s over here on YouTube too. So that means that the news that we do over here, the audio throughout the live, we won't be able to do that. I don't know why that's clicked over to there. That shouldn't have done that. Stop. Okay. I'm going to share all of this out. And we're going to get into a bunch of details here. Now, I've got about an hour and a half that we can be live here, as I've got to go price a stump removal job. I got to watch about saying that over here on YouTube because YouTube don't like stump removals. I don't know what it is. Can't say nothing about tree work. Yeah, it's buried, of course, Dodge. But yeah, this is a brand new channel. This ain't the original one. We make nothing over here because they done what they done to our original big channel, and we've lost all of our funding. So if you all can, I need your help, folks. I need your help to be able to keep on doing this. If you're not a member, go up there and sign up at that link. If you are a member, maybe think about raising your membership level up one or two. And if you don't want to do that, share us out and get us a couple coffees. We need your help. Dodge, that is a Rumble for you. That is Rumble. It does it on my end too. I can be watching a Rumble video and it just freezes. They've got a huge issue with that. They've what I think is that Rumble doesn't have enough bandwidth in their server connections. I'm working on sharing all this out here. I got to go through the coffee club and share it out for the coffee club. Remember, folks, if you become a member over on the coffee club, you will get email updates on all of our live streams. And if you're in Discord, all you have to do is check the all call channel, and it will have a link directly to our streams. You don't have to go hunting, and it's just $5 a month. You can't even buy a cup of coffee for $5. Heck, your value um, mini hamburgers at Wendy's are like $4 now. That used to be $1. You're not going to miss $5. Let me get this stream live. No, we want the all call. But yep, we've got a lot of evidence here, folks, that I'm fixing to lay out to you that Russia did this. So make sure you stick around because I know they did. They know they did. And they know that we know they did. But this administration is not going to tell you the truth because it would start major issues between our relations with Russia. But we've had two more cancel the coffee clubs. I don't understand why. I started going through Discord last night and kicking non-paying members. I've got about 300 more to go. But it just, I don't know, it amazes me that people can come in and do channels and just constantly just lie to you and feed fear porn to you. And I've got a example, full spectrum survival. It's just constantly, this is the end. This is it. And hundreds of thousands of subscribers, hundreds of thousands of views. And then we come in with common sense and level headedness, and we get banned. We get hidden. And we have 17 people watching. It makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense, folks. The U.S. federal debt. It does, Lisa. Hey, how you been? I ain't seen you in a while. Let's see here. Also, folks, if you are just now joining us and you was a member, um, Fox family, the best thing to do is Coffee Club. I get 100% of that. That link right up there, and you can make it a monthly one. I have fixed you a wrench there, Lisa. And also, Lisa, if you have not moved your coffee club, folks, I'm running on like 2 hours of sleep again. I've had like 8 hours of sleep in 3 days. If you have not moved your Discord membership over to Coffee Club and you was a member on YouTube in order to get access to Coffee Club on a channel that YouTube took down, I would recommend for you to be moving over to Coffee Club. Please and thank you. Oh, do. But yep, U.S. federal debt is now up to a record $39.4 trillion. Trump has added $3.2 trillion in debt in 12 months. This marks a 2.5 trillion average annual increase, or 2.9 billion per month more than the average was. It's going straight up, folks. Straight up. Um, Fox, you will find the link to Discord in the coffee club. Here, I'll show you. Well, for some reason, I am signed out. Let me, why am I signed out over here? Well, yeah. Goodness, at that thunder. Yeah, a second, folks. I'm trying to get this. Took care of. Okay. View page. Alright. What I'm showing you here now, this is the coffee club. You can make a monthly thing here, as if you want to give 5, your name. And if you become a member or do anything over here, use your Discord name, please. That way we know who you are. Because a lot of these someone, somewhere, I have no idea who that is. But yeah, you can make it monthly. That the best thing to do is just become a member. And we've got $5, $10, 25, 35, 45, and 100. $100 one gets you my personal phone number. And 45 gets you my personal Discord messages. But yeah, it's best to just do member. That way you get access to Discord too. But yep, you go under post tab, and you will come down in here and you will find there's a Discord link. You just click on that, and that gets your membership. access to Discord. Okay, we are going to get into um, some evidence that Russia has done what they have done. Now, what I've got here is a post. This is from Tony. The FBI showing up at Graham's house changes the calculus significantly. And this is why. Folks, if it was natural causes, the FBI wouldn't be at Graham's house. It changes it significantly, but not in a way of official narrative. Yeah, you just go into your settings there, Family Fox. Fox Family. But yeah, it changes it not in a way the official narrative wants you to believe. The official story versus what's actually happening. Here's the line being pushed. Standard review following an unattended death. Just providing resources. Nothing to see here. Yeah, folks, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Just keep going. But actually, there is a lot of stuff to see here. This is the same FBI that spent years labeling concerned parents domestic you-know-what at short school board meetings. The same FBI that ran a sparring censorship operation for social media platforms during the cough cough. And they're still doing it to people like us on social media. The same FBI director, Kash Patel, who was handpicked by Trump specifically to clean house. And now we're supposed to believe they dispatched a violent crimes task force, not a couple of agents in suits, but tactical deer to a senator's home for standard unattended death review? That's not how any of this works, folks. And I knew that we was going to see this. I wasn't going to say anything, but I knew that we was going to see the FBI dispatched because this was not just a natural death. This was done by Baruskis because Baruskis didn't like Graham because Graham was a hardliner against Baruskis. Violent Crimes Task Force doesn't roll out for natural causes. These are the people who investigate homicides, kidnappings, and terrorism. You just don't send tactical units to process paperwork on a heart attack. Very presence of this unit means someone at the highest levels has already determined that this is not a routine death. And we determined that here on this channel the moment it happened. Because you just, somebody with no history of heart issues or anything, no history whatsoever, this doesn't just fall over dead. It just does not work like that. Hey, Ducks, you wouldn't want to come on audio for a while, would you? But yeah, there is no evidence of foul play. Leak is a standard operation protocol. And we should know that. Because we see this time to time. I knew the moment they put out no evidence of foul play through CNN that there was evidence of foul play. Because it was too fast. Way too fast. They put this out. The FBI always says this in the first 24 to 48 hours of a political sensitive case. It buys time to collect evidence before the media circus demands answers. The CNN source is almost certainly coming from the FBI's own press office. It's how they manage the news cycle while real investigation process in silence. All right, 10-4 ducks. The timeline is accelerating, not slowing. Graham died Saturday evening. By Sunday morning, the FBI has tactical teams on site. Patel has issued a public statement, and the Bureau is publicly confirming their assistant. That's breakneck speed for a federal law enforcement. Bureaucracies don't move this fast unless someone at the top, likely the White House, has made the absolute highest priority. The pieces that matter now. Graham's final call with Trump was about the Save America Act, voter integrity legislation. That's significant. Graham wasn't just pushing Russia sanctions. He was working on the kind of domestic legislation that makes very powerful enemies on multiple fronts. Exactly. Who? Exactly. The cardiac arrest detail is now confirmed by the Reuters report citing emergency response to the Capitol Hill home. That's the mechanism of death. The question is, what caused the cardiac arrest? And a 71-year-old who was functional enough to fly to Kyiv, meet with Zelensky, and have a strategy call with President just hours before he died. You just don't do that. Kash Patel's statement is carefully worded. Folks, I wish I could talk better. I'm just so tired. I've had like 8 hours of sleep in 3 days. Devoted public servant, fierce defender, true patriot. Standard language, notably absent any mention of natural causes. That there's you a big hint. But the media already had the paper to say that, hey, this was natural causes. That buys time for this investigation to take place without people getting scared and trying to hide evidence. Notably absent was any mention of natural causes, any reassurance that it was expected, any medical explanation at all. The FBI director knows more than he's saying, and he's choosing his words with precision of someone who understands that everything he says will now be synchronized for months. This is what you all need to watch for in the coming days and the coming hours. The autopsy, if one is conducted and results are released. Last I heard, there was not going to be an autopsy. And that sends up alarm bells for me. Like, hey, they know this was foul play, so they're going to choose to cover it up because they know who done it. It was Russia. Pay attention to the toxicology test. Significantly, the potassium levels, insulin strays, and any mention of undetermined causes. Undetermined is the coroner speak for we know something happened, but we can't prove what. The FBI's posture in the next 48 hours. If the Violent Crimes Task Force remains engaged past the initial evidence collection phase, this is a homicide investigation, regardless of what the press office says. If they quietly hand it back to the DC Metro and fade away, the fix is in. The media's level of curiosity. Watch how hard the press pushes for answers versus how quickly they accept the sudden illness framing. The gap between these two things tells you everything about whose interests are being protected. The FBI showing up in force is the clearest signal yet, but the people who actually know what happened don't believe that this was natural. The question is whether Graham was unalived. It's whether the investigation will be allowed to reach the conclusion of evidence points towards whether national security concerns will bury it under a classified stamp that will never see daylight. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's going to be buried under a stamp that never sees daylight because of national security. If this comes out, and we already know that Russia did this, it will create a domino effect. And I really do think that if this comes out that Russia did this, we have no other option than to go to war with Russia. For those forever trapped on the short bus, this goes to the comment that the person made underneath the last live stream that reads, this person came in and said, what an irresponsible header. They had nothing to gain by killing him. Yes, they did. Russia has everything to gain. I guess you still believe in the Russian election interference, too. Perhaps you still believe they blew up their own pipeline. No matter what some politician may or may have not said, there was no benefit to them off him. There's something called evidence. Try it sometime. Oh, this makes me laugh. Well, 45, I can't pronounce your name. You sound Russian. I just gave you about 8,000 characters of evidence here that I just laid out, and he's done responded back. It says, I stand by my comment. Are you Sebastian Gorka? Ha 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 ha. By the way, I've been living next door. You mean in Russia. I think I'm well aware of Europe's business. I stand by my statement. We'll see who's right. Well, I'm going to be right. So, but that is a really evidence of Russia drain syndrome and TDS syndrome. The Russian opposition figure, of course, I'm going to go back here and we're going to show this right here. The Russian opposition figure, Igor Inman, claimed that Senator Lindsey Graham may have been poisoned in a Kremlin intelligence operation. Graham had announced progress in the new Russian sanctions roughly 2 days before his death, but U.S. officials have not reported any foul play. They're not going to tell you right now, if they ever tell you that they was foul play. But this is something that just don't happen to a 71-year-old that is physically fit and has no history of any illnesses. Let's see here. In his final public statement remarks on Friday, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham spoke in Kyiv, Ukraine, about ending the conflict with Russia. I've never been more optimistic, but I am today that we have a formula to end this war. He was talking about forcing Putin's hand, basically. And when you go in and talk like this, you have enemies. And Russia was a big enemy of him. I mean, Russia has these little, they're like a pellet rifle. But they shoot a microscopic little device that is about like a mosquito bite when it hits you. And it delivers toxins. Now, me and Lee had a big discussion about this yesterday, and he seems to think that that's what has happened here. We're going to get in here. FBI director statement. This is the statement from Kash Patel. Senator Lindsey Graham was a devoted public servant, a fierce defender of our nation, and a true patriot who basically gave his life to the people of the South Carolina and the United States. Dedicated. That's what I'm looking for. I'm sorry, but I'm terrible with words when I'm this tired, folks. I can't hardly hold my eyes open. Our prayers are with his family and loved ones, colleagues, and all those who knew him during this devastating time. The FBI is assisting local authorities and has made every necessary resource available. That right there at the end. Every necessary resource available should tell you all you need. This looks less and less like a conspiracy theory, folks. Not too long ago, Putin ideologist Alexander Duggan called for Senator Lindsey Graham to be you-know-what. Duggan has since deleted the tweet, but of course people have saved the screenshot. Russian state media continuously called for Graham to be you-know-what. And now he's been you-know-what. Here's a Russian state media, this is Russia Channel 1. Russian state media called for Senator Lindsey Graham's you-know-what in 2023 after he's meeting with Zelensky. Now, three years later, just one day after meeting with Zelensky in Ukraine, Senator Graham has been you-know-what. Here's in a 2023 video, this lady on screen here, which is a puppet for the Russian state media. She's a talking mouth. That's all she is. She's a talking mouth. The editor-in-chief of Russia Today said she wants to send Russia you-know-what squad to take out Senator Lindsey Graham, adding that it's not even hard. We have his address. Okay, I'm going to get into this one here. The perfect cover diagnostics. An aortic dissection is a tear in the inner liner of the aorta. Blood surges into the tear, separating the layers of the aorta wall. If it ruptures completely, you're dead within minutes. It's dynamic, it's sudden, and here's the key part. It happens overwhelmingly to people with pre-existing diseases. The thing is, he had no pre-existing cardiovascular disease. With the health care that he gets, along with all the other senators, and the checkups constantly, they would have found this. So the official story now is locked in. Graham died from undiagnosed heart problems. The stress of international travel triggered the decision, and he collapsed at home. Case closed. Nothing to investigate. Just another 70-year-old man with bad genes and a stressful job. Yeah. But let's look at what the diagnosis actually means for investigation. Why the aortic this session um, is convenient. Yep, Ducks. That's the reason why I wanted you to come on, because you know stuff about all of this. A lot more than I do. It's mechanically indistinguishable from certain chemical attacks. Anything that causes a catastrophic spike in blood pressure can trigger the aortic discussion. I can't pronounce crap today, folks. I am sorry. I'm so tired. My mouth just is not working. Potassium chloride overdose. The heart sizes, pressure spikes, and the aorta tears. Adrenaline or something injection. Massive bowel destruction and or aortic wall stress. Certain snake venoms and marine toxins that affect the vascular integrity. Dogston technology. Tech. I can't. I'm sorry, folks. Tech toxicity. It just won't come out. I'm sorry. The aorta looks the same as the autopsy table, whether it was triggered by natural or an externally administered agent. The pathologist sees the torn tissue. They don't see why it tore. Doggy, I can't take a break. We've got to keep on going here. I've got to keep on doing this so we have funding. I don't know what I'm going to do if we don't get our funding up. I can't. I physically cannot go get a 9 to 5 job because of my issues with my joints. Um, the pending toxicology is doing heavy lifting. Graham's office says the death certificate won't be finalized until the toxin and microscopic testing is complete. That's the window where inconvenient findings get buried. Toxic panels test for what you ask them to test for. Standard panels don't screen for novel. I can't pronounce that. Novicoc metabolites. I'm sorry. I'll go down here and there you go. It's highlighted. They don't screen for something breakdown products. They don't test for polonium unless someone specifically orders a radiation. Oh, okay. Radiation counter. A negative tox screen means nothing if nobody ran the test right. Microscopic testing takes weeks. Tissue samples get sent to labs. Slides get prepared. Pathologists review them. In a politically sensitive depth, that's plenty of time for pressure to be applied, for scope to be narrowed, for the final report to say exactly what it needs to say. The narrative that is being built in real time. Notice the sequences. Saturday night, brief and sudden illness. Vague, no details. It's very vague. Brief and sudden illness. It's just amazing that he was perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden, boom. That tells me that this was definitely some type of poison. Hey, Fox, I do not. If you've done the Discord, not the Discord, but the Coffee Club, I do not see you. Do. But yep, Sunday morning, cardiac arrest confirmed. FBI Violent Crimes Task Force deployed. But yeah, I can't take a break, folks. The show must go on because I have to keep this funding. I mean, we're making breadcrumbs right now. Literally breadcrumbs. Sunday morning, cardiac arrest confirmed. Sunday midday, no evidence of foul play leaks to CNN. Just what they wanted it to leak to. I mean, would you expect anything else? 'Cause I sure don't. Interesting. This stream, we've had 26 views in 47 minutes, 13 views per hour. The last stream we've done, we averaged between 50 and 70 per hour. So they have locked this one down already. The U-boobs. I figured that title would get some attention, but nope. Oh no. 15 to 20 miles north, it's a grass file in a residential area. Oh no. Well, keep them people in your prayers, folks. Now, the aortic discussion due to cardiovascular disease, specifically medical, and completely unfalsifiable without specialized testing that may never be done. This is the playbook for managing a politically explosive death. Yep. And if you have any um, history of what's the word I'm looking for? Past events, you will understand exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Float the national causes framing through friendly media, and then land on a specific diagnosis that sounds and closes the door for future questions. By the time anyone asks about the toxicology panel or specific essays that we run, the news cycle has moved on already. The questions that's not going to be answered. Give me just a second, folks. I am going to call Charlie a second here and see if he's able to come on a minute. No answer from Charlie. But anyone else wants to come on, you sure can. Lisa, um, anybody that's in here is welcome. Just shoot me a message or tell me in chat, and I can pull you into the audio channel. Um, the questions that won't be asked. Did Lindsey Graham have any documented history of hypertension, Marfan syndrome, Bidaspusk, aortic valve, or any other risk factor of aortic decisions? These don't come out of nowhere in otherwise healthy individuals. There's usually a trail past EKGs, physical exams, family history. If Graham's medical records show nothing but cardiovascular disease, framing collapses. And that's what exactly what my point is. There is no evidence that he had any issues at all with his heart. Was a full toxic workup ordered or just a standard panel? Standard panels are garbage for detecting state level assassination agents. If the medical examiner isn't running gas chromatography mass spectrometry with a specific laboratory for organ phosphates and exotic toxins, they're not actually looking. Who had access to Graham between Kiev and his death? The discussion narrative completely makes this method of death irrelevant because the diagnostics itself explains the mechanism, but the trigger matters. A man who was fine in Kiev, fine on his flight, fine during a call with the president, and then suddenly fell over hours later. That's not how chronic cardiovascular disease typically presents. Um, Ascensions can be spontaneous, yes, but spontaneous is not the same as unexplained. Why the FBI Violent Crimes Task Force deployed if this was always going to be ruled a natural death? You just don't send tactical units for heart condition folks. Someone at the bureau saw something in those first few hours that warranted a full criminal investigation. Has that something been explained away, or has it been buried? This is the bottom line. An aortic schism due to a cardiovascular disease is a diagnosis that will satisfy 95% of the public and 100% of the media. It sounds medical. It sounds final. It sounds like something that happens to old men with stressful jobs. But also it's also the perfect cover for a death that powerful people don't want to investigate. The mechanism is plausible, the diagnosis is unremarkable, and the toxicology results, the one thing that could actually prove foul play, are still pending, with no guarantee that anyone is running the right test in the first place. Graham was in Kiev pushing sanctions on Russia. He was named at a funeral attended by Russian Deputy Security Council Chief. He died hours after his final call with Trump. And now the medical establishment is telling us it was just bad luck and weak aorta. Maybe it was, but the people who would know for certain are not talking, and those who have every reason to make this go away. But this stinks to high heaven. Here, vitamin doesn't pass the smell test. The timeline. Man, I wish I had somebody in here that could help me read this stuff.
Afternoon, Duramax.
Friday, June 10th. Graham is in Kyiv, meeting with Zelensky, pushing a Russian sanctions bill he claims has White House backing. Saturday, July 11th. Trump posts 1,000 missiles locked and loaded. Fred at the committee funeral saw open calls to, want him, Graham and BB. The funeral raged all week with millions in the streets chanting for American red juice. You know what that means. Saturday evening, Graham dies suddenly at his Capitol Hill home. Emergency personnel reportedly responded to a cardiac arrest call. Sunday, July 12th, his office releases brief and sudden illness statement. No cause of death, no autopsy details, just private pleas. 71-year-old man with no known health issues flies to a active war zone, holds high-level meetings, returns to D.C., and then drops dead within 24 hours of getting home. The brief and sudden illness is the kind of phrase that gets deployed when the real explanation is too inconvenient to state publicly. Okay, there you are, ducks. Let me get my audio fixed here because I have it muted. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. Let me send this to you here, and you can run over it if you do not care. I've got down to the pieces that don't fit. There's a little puzzle piece that says the pieces that don't fit. I've got to get me something to drink. There, it's in your DMs. Thank you.
Yep.
Also, when would be a good time to start doing these that you are available?
Just depends. My work schedule fluctuates. So
would the evenings be better, like at about 5 p.m. or something, or 6?
Usually during the day is fine.
Okay. Oh man, I can't even hardly bend my knee, man. It's got so much fluid on it. My right knee.
Right.
I don't know. It's all swollen. I can bend it to about 20% straight. That's it.
Yeah, that's a limited range of motion there.
Yep. Oh. Yeah, it's about to kill me, man.
All right. I got that article.
Okay. The pieces that don't fit. But before we start, what's your thoughts on this? Are you thinking what I'm thinking here?
It's really, 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 really suspicious.
Yes.
And I would be more suspicious if it wasn't anybody else other than him based off of his stance on things.
Yes.
And also the timing of things was very evident.
See, Russia has a little like air gun that shoots a microscopic little pellet. Me and Lee done a big discussion into this. Lee's actually had his hands on one before. And it's about like a mosquito bite when it hits you. And it can deliver whatever they want it to deliver. and it can be done from a distance. I mean, I really, 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 really do think that this was some kind of nerve toxin. It was either done that way or it was put in his food.
Yeah, and they have a known history of using such things,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
within their own government, and not to mention not just within Russia and the
yeah.
vicinity, but
Mm-hmm.
abroad as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Russian operatives in other countries.
And that's the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, because this is the classic Russian playbook. Classic.
Besides windows and stairs, yes.
Yeah, this is just classic, and it's just got Russia written all over it. Then again, it could have been Iran, because one of the Russian high ups did fly to Iran, kind of undercover, for a little meeting a couple days ago. And this could have been a combination of Iran and Russia.
That's what I'm thinking.
But it's very interesting that he goes over there and announces this big sanctions bill that's going to basically force Russia to the table. And then boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. This happens. Stuff just don't happen like this. And you know, if you had a aorta that's got issues with his level of health care, they would have known this.
Yes, they would have.
There's no doubt that they would have known. They know every little piece of him, medical wise. I mean, what do they do?
I mean, it's like a star athlete. I mean, these
Yeah.
folks that are high profile, playing
Mm-hmm.
on, soccer, football, whatever. They
Yep.
have
Yep.
access to the best medical treatment known to man.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't matter the cost.
Exactly. And he gets
The
what, checkups every 6
politicians are the
months?
same thing.
Yeah, exactly. He gets what, very very deep checkups every 6 months, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take our healthcare folks and times it by 1,000. That's the type of healthcare that senators get. And then times it by another 1,000, and that's the healthcare that the president gets. They know if
Hey, Duramax, it would be like you owning a Ferrari and taking it to the Ferrari dealership.
Yeah.
And then they give you clean diagnostics on everything.
Yep.
And you roll off the lot and the thing blows up.
Mm-hmm.
That
Or
just don't happen.
Yeah, it's just don't happen. Yeah, that's the reason why. But I guess I can't believe that they're trying to say that this was natural. Of course, we know why.
Now,
they're
is it a
saying
possibility?
this.
Yes, it is a possibility. Can't rule it out. But it's highly, highly, highly suspicious.
I'm saying that possibility as a 1% possibility or less. This it's too much of a what's the word I'm looking for? Starts with C. Coincidence. Yeah, that this happened.
Oh, as the saying goes, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck,
It's a duck. Yep.
most likely.
Yep. But go ahead there. But it's just too, and them coming out immediately saying, trying to say, "Oh, it's natural." That just finishing concrete in my mind that hey, this wasn't natural.
Let me read part of this article. The pieces that don't fit.
Yep, down from there down, if you don't care.
Yep, I got it.
I appreciate it, Bob.
All right. The pieces that don't fit. A 71-year-old man with no known health issues flies to an active war zone, holds high-level meetings, returns to D.C., and then drops dead within 24 hours of getting home. Brief and sudden illness is the kind of phrase that gets deployed when the real explanation is too inconvenient to state publicly. Russia sent Medvedev personally to Tehran. This wasn't some low-level diplomatic courtesy call. Russia's former president and current Security Council deputy chair shows up to pay respects while the IRGC and funeral organizers are openly calling for the assassination of U.S. officials, including Graham by name. Medvedev is shaking hands with Iranian leadership while those same officials are presiding over crowds chanting, "You know what" to Trump and waving signs in English calling for "you know what." Graham was in Kyiv pushing sanctions on Russia the day before he passed. He was literally on Russia's state media's enemy list while simultaneously being named as a target at the at the funeral Russians delegation was attending. The Russian playbook. This is not new territory. Russia has a well-documented history of eliminating political opponents through means that produce sudden illnesses and cardiac events. Novichok, polonium, and various untraceable agents have been their calling cards for decades. A 71-year-old man suddenly experiencing cardiac arrest with zero prior indicators immediately after being publicly named for assassination along the sitting president is the kind of coincidence that doesn't happen in the real world.
Exactly.
The beauty of the sudden illness cover story is that it gives the media an easy off ramp. No investigation is needed, no uncomfortable questions about Russian involvement. Just mourn the senator and move on to the next news cycle.
Exactly.
You want to keep going?
If you want to. I mean, there's on down in there. There's a bunch of information about types of nerve nerve toxins.
Yeah, I'll go over those.
Okay. You probably
The
know about
classic
some of these
Russian.
too.
Oh, yeah. The classic nerve agents of the Russian playbook. Novichok, the most famous entry in the catalog, developed under the Soviet Foliant program. These are fourth generation organophosphate nerve agents, which makes Novichok elegant from an assassin's perspective. It's a binary design. Two relatively harmless precursor chemicals are combined at the point of delivery. Neither component alone is a scheduled substance. Transport them separately, mix them moments before use, and there's no illegal material to intercept. Delayed onset. Symptoms can take hours to manifest. The target goes about their day, then suddenly collapses. No obvious point of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Degrades rapidly.
Yep.
Once the agent has done its work, it breaks down. If you don't test for the specific metabolites within a narrow window, you get nothing. Can be
And
applied.
that's what I think they used because it fits perfectly.
Yep. It can be applied to surfaces, a doorknob, a car handle, a hotel room phone. The famous Scriptural case used a perfume bottle.
Mhm.
Graham's Capitol Hill residence would have had many such surfaces. Alexei Navalny survived this 2020 Novichok poisoning only because the pilot made an emergency landing and German doctors received him within hours. Most targets aren't so lucky. Next, polonium 210, used on Alexander Litvinenko in 2006, a radioactive isotope that once ingested causes a slow, agonizing death that initially presents as a generic illness. The problem with polonium is that it leaves a radioactive trail. Litvinenko's assassins left traces across London. Russia learned from this. Modern operators favor agents that don't light up a Geiger counter.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the pharmacological approach. This is more likely the category for something like Graham's death. Why use exotic nerve agents when tools of modern medicine work perfectly well? Potassium chloride induces cardiac arrest, completely undetectable on a standard autopsy unless you're specifically looking for it. And even then, potassium levels naturally spike after death. It's the go to for making a murder look like a heart attack. Administered via injection, it stops the heart within minutes. By the time anybody finds the body, the injection site is just another needle mark, indistinguishable from routine medical care.
Mm-hmm.
Insulin. An insulin overdose causes hypoglycemic coma and death. It looks like natural causes unless someone runs a specific insulin assay on the blood, which is not part of the standard autopsy panel. Insulin breaks down in the body, so the detection window is short. Succinylcholine or povluin. Paralytic agents that stop respiration. These break down into metabolites identical to those the body produces naturally after death. Again, unless you're specifically looking for them within hours using specialized mass spectrometry, they are invisible. Next is tetrodotoxin, the pufferfish toxin. Blocks sodium channels. Death looks like respiratory failure. Extremely difficult to detect. A microgram scale is lethal. The Japanese fugu tradition exists because of this stuff is terrifyingly potent and easy to misjudge.
And there you have it, folks. I mean, there's got more of them, but
Oh yeah,
could have been used. But this is what Russia is known for. I mean,
biochemical weapons research.
yep.
And
This
they've
was a
gotten good at it.
really big thing during the Soviet days too. Really, really big. And a lot of their research came from Germany back in the day. They had a very big program with this stuff.
As did the Japanese back in World War II.
Yep. Jackman says we might be overlooking something here. This could be very easily be a false flag that will be used to kick off something big. There are 3-letter agencies who do these kind of things. Well, Jack, could be. But I don't think we would do something like that to somebody like this. And we just had a 5.6 earthquake in south of the Fiji Islands at a depth of 55 kilometers.
I'll add one last thing to that, Duramax, is that I've seen reports that even Israel's Mossad could be behind it. Again, I can't rule it out, but the playbook of things and the timing point more towards the Ruskies.
Yeah.
And or Iran.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Yep.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, he was pro-Israel.
He was very pro-Israel. And he's very pro-Ukraine. Very anti-Russia. And very anti-Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Israel would not benefit from something like this at all. Because they're losing one of their biggest advocates. Same way with Ukraine. They're losing one of their biggest advocates that has helped them tremendously throughout the years.
Indeed. But I got to hop off of here, but I figured I'd come on for a little bit and chat
Well, I
with you.
appreciate it, Dux. Appreciate your
Yes, sir.
insights. But yeah, this stinks to high heaven.
It 100% does.
But
I'll see y'all in chat.
what time would
Ducks
you
out.
be available? Maybe tomorrow.
Around noon.
Okay. Well, give me a yell. Text me or something when you're
Will
ready.
do.
Okay. See you, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Ducks out.
But yeah, folks, this is we got breaking news. Trump has formally notified Congress that fighting with Iran has resumed. Let me go in here. I've got some more information. But yeah, back in Senator Lindsey Grant had repeatedly called for the you know what of the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. Yeah, this YouTube stream over here on this is getting buried. Also, extreme heat forces France to shut 3 nuclear reactors and cut power at 8 more. Now, if this is forcing France to shut down its power plants, goodness, folks. Oh, it's by law. It's because of the discharged water cannot exceed 28 degrees Celsius. Operators are legally required to reduce power generation or temporarily shut down reactors to prevent environmental damage. Oh, wow. Germany will finance the production of 50,000 drones for Ukraine. These drones right here can, I'll show you a little video. Just a second. They can wait in underwater. Watch this right here. They can come out, wait underneath of the water, and appear. Wow. Look at that. There, it just comes right out of the water. Choo, takes off. That's wild. We've got aircraft activity central Tehran province, Iran. Folks, we've got very, 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 very big problems. Now, I'm thinking about ending the YouTube stream. That way we can show some video. Because I've got a lot of video coming out of China and other stuff that Yemen has fired stuff towards Saudi Arabia. But this flooding in China, And I've got other big news. Trump is going to deliver a televised speech to the nation on Thursday at 9 p.m. So, Thursday at 9 p.m. Now, this could be something to deal with what's happened to Lindsey Graham. He could be declaring war on Iran. There's a lot of things he could be doing right here, folks. Um, but this is this is big. You just don't come out and deliver a televised speech to the nation for no reason, especially what all is going on right now. I mean, he could come out and blame Iran for doing this to Graham. That way, we can declare full scale war on Iran. But yeah, Trump is going to deliver a speech to the nation at Thursday at 9 p.m. And there is the information on that. Very, very. Very interesting. This flooding over in China is wild. It's part of you know what? It starts with GSM. Oh, they're having to drain the reflecting pool. Footage of a halfway drained reflecting pool reveals a splotchy floor and no visible 350-foot gash. Ew. There's like a film on the whole mess. Why are they having to drain it? Hang on a minute, folks. I'm getting a call. Alright, sorry about that, folks. Um, I think we're going to end the YouTube stream, and I am going to come back. Well, we won't have to come back. We will keep on going with Rumble stream, because I want to show you all some video of what's going on in China. And we can't show the video over here on the YouTube's world because of copyright issues. And I want to keep this channel in good standing. Oh, let me fix this sandwich here just a minute, because I have not ate nothing today. And I will yak with you. But go ahead and post in chat what your thoughts is on the Lindsey Graham thing. Do you see what I have laid out for you today? Or do you see something totally different? Let me hear your thoughts in chat. I want to know what your thoughts is on this. And also, what do you all think that Trump is going to announce Thursday at 9 p.m.? Kind of odd timing for everything. Do y'all think it's going to be something to do with Lindsey? Or do you think it's going to be something to do with Iran? Goodness gracious, at the rain, folks. It just started pouring the rain here. Absolutely pouring the rain. Wow. I can't even hardly hear myself think in my house here. Goodness gracious, at the rain. Goodness. It ain't been raining for about 45 seconds, and we've done got a river running through the yard. Can you all hear that? That's just wild. Absolutely crazy. Goodness, it just got heavier. It was hailing just a minute ago a little bit. A small amount of hail. Goodness gracious. There's some hail. Can y'all hear it here? You can hear it hitting the door. Wow. Yeah, I can see it bouncing off the sidewalk here. Little teeny tiny pieces of hail mixed in with really heavy rain. Interesting. Okay. Let me get back into here. And we're fixing to get hit very hard with a big thunderstorm that's going to move through here. Let's see what everybody's thoughts is. We can see hell on your cameras. Yeah, that's the reason why I put the cameras up. Um, okay, nobody has any questions about anything we've done. Okay, now what we're going to do, since we've only had 40 views through the YouTube stream, I'm going to end the YouTube stream in 3, 2, 1.